Hi, I'm Rick Pressler, and today I'm going for a load of firewood. The weather's getting ready to change, and this might be the last chance I have to get up in the hills and get another load of firewood before the snow sets in and keeps me from getting up there. So I'm going to go up there and do this. I've hauled 3 loads so far this year. I'd like to have at least one more. Pretty sure I can get that today. Hope it works out well. We can do this. Oh, this is just heaven. I've got a belly full of breakfast burrito, Crystal Dew on the radio, driving up the canyon on a cool fall morning. Doesn't get much better than this. This is what life's all about. Alright, it's an hour and 15 minutes later and 43 miles away from home, and I'm where I want to be to cut some firewood. Like I mentioned earlier, this is my, what is this? This is my 4th trip, I guess? Yeah, my 4th trip this year. I've cut firewood in the past. We've got a wood-burning stove in our home, and I like to use that to help heat the home. It helps my wife to stay warm. I always tell her that she's more like a reptile than a mammal because she doesn't seem to generate her own body heat. She likes to stay warm, so we like to burn a fire in the stove when we can. I had gotten to the point where didn't have very much wood left. Last time I was up cutting wood, my chainsaw kind of died on me. So this year we were about out of wood. We went ahead and picked up a different saw, a new saw, and I've been trying to get some wood in while the weather's cooperating. It's supposed to turn off cold and rainy and possibly snowy the next between 2 and 4 days, so I thought I'd come up here today and try to get one more load out before it gets really bad up in here. Anyway, that's what I'm here for. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I've been here for maybe 35-40 minutes now. I mentioned before that this was my 4th load of the year. This is where I finished, right here is where I finished off my last load. I had gone to another spot and cut a tree and got most of a load, but hadn't quite filled it up, so I drove a little further up the road. Found this spot where there was a log that had fallen down on its own, and I cut it up some and then hauled it down, filled up the truck, filled up my load, and went home. This morning I've started here where I left, I don't know, maybe a third of this tree from last time that I didn't have room for on the truck. So I've bucked it up and hauled it down to the truck. I've got about 10 rounds out of this little piece here. And now I'm looking for my next my next load of wood, I guess, and I think it's going to be right over here. If you can see in the center of the screen, there's a tree right there that's still standing, that's very dead. It's a big tree. And my goal is to cut that tree down, have it end up laying about where I'm standing, over here where this other tree was, somewhere in here, and then limb it up, buck it up, haul it to the truck, and haul it home. This area where I'm cutting wood is it's been picked through really well, and this is, I think, the 6th year since I've been coming up here to cut wood. I haven't come every year. I've skipped a couple of years when my old saw was broke. But it's an area that's been picked through really well, so when you find a tree, it's usually quite a ways off the road. This is one of the shortest and flattest hauls I've ever had to get the wood from where I cut it back to the truck. And it's about, I don't know, between 80 and 100 yards, depending on which end of the tree you measure from. And I usually end up spending about 20 to 25% of my time cutting and the rest of my time hauling the wood to the truck. So this is a little bit closer. The ground is dry, you can see. Usually it's muddy, oftentimes snowy, so it's more treacherous than it is today. But today's really good condition, so I'm hoping I can get this tree down, get it limbed off, bucked up, and hauled to the truck. And I'm guessing I won't be able to haul all of that. We'll have to see how much of a load that is. That's the way we like it. All right, that worked out pretty well. There's my stump. Obviously, here's the tree. I only saw 1 or 2 branches come off that live tree. I hate to mess up a live tree, but sometimes it just happens. Anyway, we got it down. You know, I've cut, what have I cut? 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 trees this year. One of them I spent half of one day and then a quarter the next day getting it out of being hung up on another tree. So I'm happy that this one didn't hang up. So we'll go ahead and limb it up now and start working it over. This is a big tree. I'm hoping I can carry it down to the truck. Like I told you before, it's, I don't know, from here it might be 80 yards, but these are going to be some big rounds. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't start bucking it up a little bit now. hopefully I won't pinch this saw and have troubles that way. They're rolling the wrong way. I gotta go catch them. All right, I got them all rounded up. Some of them were downhill from where they needed to be. I hate it when I have to push things uphill, but I got them all rounded up, and now I've just got to get them over there to the truck. The battery on this camera is dead, so I'm gonna have to go put it on the truck and charge it, so you're not gonna be able to see me move the log. I'll tell you that I can't hardly pick them up. I carried one of them over to here. It about killed me. So I'm guessing I'm probably gonna have to roll these through here until I get them to the truck and then lift them in the back. Anyway, I'm gonna go charge this battery. Maybe we'll show you a little bit more action in a while. I've been cutting and hauling for about 2 hours, I guess, since I made the last video. The phone battery's charged again, so I'm making another one now. I've been thinking while I've been hauling wood back and forth that I think it was about 8 years that my parents heated their home with nothing but a wood burning stove, from what I understand. I know I was there for 3 years when that's all we did, and I moved out, and my youngest brother tells me that they did that until he moved out, and he wasn't there to cut and split wood for him anymore, and after that they started using the furnace again. So cutting firewood's kind of something I really enjoy. It gives me a lot of I have a lot of good memories about cutting firewood with my family. So coming up here and cutting a great big tree and hauling it down to the truck it's good times for me. I really enjoy it. Sometimes I look at some of these rounds that I cut and don't understand why I cut such big trees. They're so heavy to carry, and a lot of these I've had to roll because they're too heavy to carry. And as I was thinking about why I do that, I realized it goes back to when we were kids and we used to go out with my dad and cut wood. And man, the biggest tree you could find, that was like a badge of honor. It was like a trophy. The biggest rounds you could bring home meant you'd won. I mean, that was a good thing. So that's probably why I go after these big trees. They're almost too big for me to carry by myself, but I still do it and I still enjoy it. I'm just taking a break now to eat my lunch, get some energy back. And the truck's just about full. I'm up there almost picking which pieces of the tree I cut now. I've had to cut some smaller rounds already to fill some holes in. I've got room for maybe another row of the bigger ones that I move up the tree. They get smaller, but they're still quite big. And then I'll have to go start from the other end, the tall end, the smaller end of the tree, and start working my way down and cut some smaller rounds to fill in the holes in the truck that, well, I just can't stand to go home without utilizing all the space I've got in the back of this truck. Usually I don't ever get a full load. I spend more time walking, or I've spent a lot of time getting my truck unstuck before. I've spent time getting trees that are hung up out of the tree they're hung up in. Just all sorts of different things. And this trip and the last trip have been really good. I mean, it's just coming up on 2 o'clock now, and usually I'm just up to my eyeballs in mess by now, but today it's going really well. So I'm going to eat my lunch and then get back to it. I want to show you where I've been walking while I've been carrying and rolling these logs from where I cut it down here to the truck. So I'm just gonna try to hold this thing steady as I walk up this path and show you about how far it is. It's pretty level. If anything, it's mostly all downhill, which is always good, right? You gotta be carrying and stuff. You want to be carrying it downhill instead of uphill. Like I said earlier, this is one of the easiest hauls I've had hauling wood out of this area ever. This is about where I'm able to roll the big ones to. They'll roll downhill to here, and then I've been carrying them from there to the truck. Got to kind of ride herd on them so they don't get away from you like the first ones did. So you can see up there, there's where the base of the tree was. There's the stump. So that's where I've been cutting the big rounds. And then down here on the other side of this live tree, you can see where the saw is there. That's the top of the tree, and I've started cutting the bottom of it up. Started cutting the top of the tree up so I can have some smaller rounds to fill in the holes in the truck. So I'm going to go back and cut some more of these big rounds. I think I got room for 6 or 7 more of those, and then we'll fill up all the empty spaces with smaller ones. Well, that's it. There's maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 feet of tree left up there. But I don't think I have room for it, so I think I'm going to take what I've got and head out of here. Got to go gather up all my equipment, load it up, and try to strap this thing down and then head home. I hope you had fun today. I know I did. Hey, we did it, right? Came up here to cut and load of firewood before the weather got bad, and we got it done. I had a great time. Hope you did as well. Take care.